them firing on all cylinders, and when they are, that's when they look the best.
I mean, it's individual plays from Lobes and Jason was here, or like even when Chuba had the unfortunate mishap of running over Lobes yesterday, we saw Luke step up and go in and get a huge double knock there onto the team that they were fighting. So I just really like that team. I think the roster again is coming together even more and more as we go into further and further into PCS, and it's stuff like that just makes it really impressive to watch, and I love that team.
Indeed, is up and back in. I mean, I can see the plane already. It's do you know what? So far, so good. That's all I'll say. Yeah, we're not having any curveballs from the get-go. Hopefully, I mean, Poro always feels left out. He always feels left out.
So far, so good. I say this is too good. You know what I mean? This is too good of a plane.
So you're expecting something funky to happen off the
I
back
wouldn't
of
mind if the plane started at Prim and ended at Novo. You know what I mean?
Well, all I'm saying is, I mean, Oath, the guys that talk about the circles the most, they've already had their good circle this phase, right? So, obviously, it's not going to go Mill to Power again.
I mean, yeah, there's no way it goes Mill to Power. It's not even possible at this point. I don't even know why we're talking about it, to be honest.
That's fair.
But what if it did? What if it actually did?
Just to come back to the theory that Poro had kind of planted the seeds for,
yes,
again,
yes.
ATC pulling straight north of Lipovka. Again, they don't want to deal with that. Again, especially on this plane, you know, stretching all the way across to George, dropping for vehicles on the west coast. We know how much of a clown fiesta that can be if a couple of other teams can't make it to their drop spot. You know, west coast and drive to where you want to go is like one of the default audible calls based on a bad plane. But this time around, they're going to head up towards, I guess, south of Kremeshi, you can call it, east of Yasnaya. But going to get themselves well situated, and again, a good first game for them kind of solidifies their position. They are one of the teams kind of on the cusp. Oh, look at that!
Look at that! That's wild.
Who'd have thought?
I mean, not us. You know, we thought it was impossible, but there we are, and there it is. I think ATC is safe. I agree 100% with you. I don't think they have any issues as far as qualifying for the grand finals. I really hope they pop off there, but I'm now kind of looking over at a team like Comets. I just really want to see these guys make it to a circle with at least 3 or 4 up. That's, you know, later than circle 3 or 4. I mean, they've I'm gonna harp on them because I really like this team. I talked about this team a lot before Vegas is on it. Obviously, I'm going to talk about it even more now because I really like that roster. They just need to keep 4 up, man. At least 4 up past half the midway point, because it's a struggle for them. It's a super struggle for them.
As you can see, I know we did have a chance to look at it in the break, but Fabled and Team Clueless still drawing the line of 15th and 16th. Again, Clueless, you could say, is one that's a little more likely to be passed today by a couple of teams. And again, really, I mean, it's 10 points down to 20th place. Again, only another 6 points behind that, and then 89 for Liberate. So definitely still 5 or 6 teams in the mix here to be able to contest those spots. But I mean, it's always that conversation. You in my eyes, never leave it to the last day. Like, never. If you're relying on popping off on the last day, like, you've already made kind of 2 weeks worth of mistakes, if that makes sense. Now's the time where it's going to be hardest to switch them up, because there's so many other teams now that are desperate for points. I mean, you're not just kind of fighting the leaderboard, you're actually fighting 5 other teams on the leaderboard.
Well, that's the issue as well, is you're salvaging at that point. You know what I mean? And you never want to salvage on the last day. You want to just play comfortably, or at a certain point just start pushing teams and, you know, have a good finish to the group stage. If you're just playing for points because you desperately need them, you're probably not going to be making the same plays you would have made, you know, if you weren't so bent on making sure you qualify. And I think that just comes down to the mental pressure of you know, being one of those teams that potentially may not make it to the next stage. But you know, we'll have to see. I'm still pulling for Liberate, man. I really want to see Baja continue, and I really want to see that team succeed, because I really, like I said, I really like what I saw from them in the last PCS.
Indeed. You see, again, really, just to talk about the circle, a lot of teams are still are going to have good access to this. There's a lot of water to consider. Elusive actually making moves past Virtue over here at the half barn, the Ghost compound. It will forever be the Ghost compound. Sneak attack actually taking a few shots in transition. Liberate just down to the south of this as well. I think a couple of teams are going to try and make a mad dash towards Heaven. And we've actually got two members of One Eye Open there, Patron and Monharty already set up, but it could be the 4-man of Elusive pulling up here, Godspeed.
And yeah, Elusive, I mean, these are actually, catching a little bit of air. Oh, they're right next to each other. And Monharty's just getting out. GLD taking shots. This is really not good for Monharty at all. Yeah, that's going to be a nice little knock there. The question is does One Eye Open stay or leave? And it looks like they are actually retreating. So Elusive going to get this compound from them. And this is a pretty nice position at the very least to scout from. Maybe not necessarily to stay and play from, but we'll see. It all just depends on the circle. But Heaven is definitely a nice little pickup for these guys.
It is, and do you know what? Fair play to Monharty there. I like the fact that, you know, they're spread thin. They obviously moved 2 players out there to take control of that early, and that was the theory I was talking about earlier, Godspeed.
Right.
Some circles where, you know, you want to get to them early. If you're a team that drops inside that circle 1 pop, you got to be careful. If you're playing this 2-1-1 split, a team transitioning in as 4 around the 5-minute mark, like, they're going to want to just pull up on you.
Right.
They've already
Especially
made
if they know
plan.
It's 1. Yeah.
Exactly. They've made the plan kind of 2 minutes prior. So if they're going to just pull up and commit to that, that's when you see these early splits get punished.
And we're seeing Ice Tech still just taking shots over at Heaven from the Alamo here. This is actually a phenomenal spot to play from if the circle is like if it's going to end around here because there's nothing else to play. It's not a bad position as well. As we see, he's just not only taking pot shots, but just getting information. You can see quite a bit 360 degrees around you. So it does look like Liberate's going to use this as kind of a foothold to go into the next circle, depending on the shift. And this is good. I mean, we've seen Liberate be proactive in their scouting and rotation practices before, and it's good to kind of see that here as well.
Yeah, Liberate settling for a little split, holding on to Alamo and obviously the museum down to the southwest, that newly donned museum.
The newly donned. It used to be just warehouse. Now it's a museum.
Yeah, it was so boring before.
It was. They got a lot of cool stuff in there, man. You should check it out. I don't know what's in there. I just assume it's a museum.
Mostly cool pictures of Gen G. Mostly pictures of Gen G, I'll be honest.
Probably, yeah. the legends.
But pretty much everybody making their way in so far. SDK wrapping out towards west side of Yasnaya. They're going to cross the gas station bridge. Comets coming down the south coast. Gas Cans finally making it across the east bridge. The only real team we need to worry about, Illusion, keep an eye on them. They're still way, way out in the blue west side. But everyone, again, this is a circle that people want to get to early. You don't want to have to transition into this late. And everybody wants to be ready for that possibility that this one goes hard towards Mill to Power, because we know we always get that mad dash.
Yeah.
The first 20 seconds after that circle pops, everybody sends it down highway.
100%. But yeah, I mean, this is what, okay. Nice D-Rich. This is just, I guess, players just waiting. I mean, this is the phase, as you said, everyone's already set up. They're just waiting for the shift at this point. I don't really think we're going to get anything crazy as far as, you know, any team fights or any rotations, as most teams are set up. ATC potentially may get on the roof of these pryos, and you can actually get a lot of information from this compound as well. That's the other thing I think that ATC has really excelled at, Pac, which goes back to what you were talking about, is avoiding SDK. They've actually been able to get themselves in really good positions, you know, ready to frag, ready to rotate, and that's because they haven't been challenged by, you know, SDKs in the early game, which is kind of an issue they've been running into over and over again.
It certainly has. As Gas Cans waste no time in moving as far east as they can now. The problem is, you got to fully expect Oath to be in a split like this. You can see they're stacked up. Mini Mill to Power, obviously, Pack Caps up on the yellows just north of that. And then 2 actually out on the coast. So they're kind of playing a rotation trap kind of setup right now. And again, Oath, they're going to play for this shift. Back to Mill to Power. Luke actually finding Ripper down by the roadside there. It's a freebie for SDK to get on the board. Ascendant's actually pretty split in rotation. Ripper way far away from his team, about half a kilometer actually out. The rest of them heading down to the east coast. Circle about to pop. Let's see where we're headed.
And there it is.
Okay, well, expect there to be 30 people in vehicles sending it towards Lumberyard and Mill to Power.
Look at the map. Look at the map. Everyone is rotating. And just to go back to that Ripper point, it looks like SDK's like, man, we haven't seen ATC in T games. Whatever. We'll just We'll just bully Ascendants, I guess. As Honey Badger is trying to get that bike moving off. And this is actually a really nice little position here that they have down here towards Monkey. I never understand why this was called Monkey Compound, by the way. Is this what you guys called that?
Monkey because of Vitality, Monkey.
Is this... Oh, this is where he would live. Okay.
Yeah.
Now
I guess
feel
it's just
stupid.
stuck.
Yeah, I guess. Well, because I remember asking like Micro and Lois, I was like, why is it called Monkey Compound? I don't think they ever gave me the answer.
Oh my god. I mean, if we're able to during this pack apps, I was gonna find Shimboy out of the UAS. That's actually a fantastic shot, but I would love to be able to see the map at the same time because we kind of predicted this if the Milta Power Circle came, but it's actually worse than I anticipated.
Yeah.
There is like 8 teams headed
Much worse.
this direction, and there's still 3 to come as well. STK way far out on the north side. I think they're going to try and play late on this one, but we got Oath, Gravity, Zenith, Gas Cans, Hardshifts, Dodge, Comets, everybody coming down towards Mini Milta Power. I mean, you can see the color filling the mini map as it is.
Look at the lines. Look at the lines. The crossfire on all these teams rotating in. And Vegas is actually going to find D-Reach with a nice little bolt action. We've been seeing more players bolt. Thoughts, Spock?
I mean, I actually like it. The problem is right now, like if you knock somebody with a bolt, like it does, you run the risk of having it stolen more so than if you run a DMR.
True.
Which
I mean,
like, you look better, but you're gonna lose kill points every so often.
You look good hitting those nice shots, but yeah, I mean that's why most players prefer the DMRs. Not that bolts aren't good at all. Obviously, they have the one shot potential, but you just can't flush unless your team is ready on a knock. Speaking of knock, we might see one here when I open cruising past ATC, and they're actually going to survive. Nope, I lied. Too soon. Winlow is going to go down. Marsik's going to find the flush for Aguila. And this is actually Patron at the position where I'm pretty sure Oath won the game from last time. The circle was down here.
Yeah, pretty much. It was a split from the Wizard Tower, and then eventually moved up to take control of the fence line. Again, Oath. When you have a circle ending in the backyard, so to say, it's they're usually best set up for these Milta Power circles, understandably so. Liberate actually coming down again. It's a circle 2 here where we can still take into account circle 4 now because, you know, potentially if this next one centers up, where the edge of the circle is going to lie. So we're going to have a couple of teams kind of, I guess, equip themselves best to deal with that, which is why we usually get a little bit of a stack over towards Prison and Lumberyard, just playing off that next shift.
I mean, I really like the position Liberate has here, just because, as you said, they can play off the next shift, and they have room to work with South, especially if it does, you know, shift even harder into Milta Power. But the other thing this allows them to do is really take control of the North and the teams around them that are trying to rotate past, because that gives them an idea of either who they're going to have to fight when they move up, or who they can potentially kind of skate by and get in a better position ahead. So I like this from Liberate, and that's going to be the shift, and they're still going to have time to kind of work that North. And Elusive is really the only team they have to worry about unless Dodge really wants to push out, but I don't really think they're going to do that. They're dead center.
No, but Lumberyard, notoriously difficult area of the map to hold on to. It's a hilltop. Lots of teams can kind of sneak up or I guess slow push up on foot and get, I mean, right up on your doorstep before you even realize anything's up. So Dodge, you've got to keep their head on a swivel, so to say. Maybe prioritize one side, north or the south. I'd say north to try and stop some of these rotations coming in.
I agree.
You've got to anticipate some teams still not having control of something.
I know this actually opted to take... I find it interesting that Oath maybe didn't even go Mini Milta or the Mini Milta Power, the compound across from it. Those are kind of notorious positions as far as where teams like to take when the circle is here and they're looting this area. But even still, the position they have now in the yellows is very good.
Is indeed, yeah. And again, the way they split early game, they always have a contingency. If they don't get the next pop, or they always have control of more than one thing over here in this area of the map, so that they can stack up like this and
they always have a plan.
Deny the space from another team.
Mm-hmm. That's why they've obviously been so successful in getting their frags as well. They're always set up to get frags off rotation, especially down here. I mean, I really feel like Oath knows this area very well. They've gotten quite a lot of points from it. But Elusive, I mean, they rotated around Liberate, and now they find themselves in this kind of dip right in front of Oath. And if they're not careful, I mean, Oath can push up at any time and just frag out. So we see Snakers looking towards ATC. A lot of teams now backfilling the areas around Big Mill to Power, or Main Mill to Power. And it seems as though the bloodbath has subsided. Luke 12 gonna find Ice Tech. And this worries me.
I'm surprised. I mean, there was a chaotic Circle 2 migration for a lot of these teams. We didn't lose an awful lot. I would have expected a lot more to fall through that. So the fact we're holding on to 56 players as Phase 3 comes into close means we could be in for a better game than I anticipate. I just the thing is, wacky circles, yes. I don't like seeing 20 people die in the first 10 minutes. That's when, you know, it can kind of stagnate in the mid game. So I am actually happy we've held on to this many players so far, given the circles.
The issue now, though, for Liberate is SDK generally don't like to let go once they're kind of latched onto a team. And although I think Liberate can definitely pull off of this, I don't know if SDK is, if they're going to straight just push into Dodge. We'll have to see. But it does look like they're starting to split that way to maybe see if they can either get around Liberate, but they're about to run into Finna and Lamplot potentially. Oof, another shift south.
Oh
Okay.
my God. Well, okay, yeah. So Lumberyard being a pretty crucial spot in the previous circle now is
the edge,
last line of defense, to get into this circle for a lot of these teams. I mean, SDR have the opportunity to wrap down towards Milty. You can see Virtue, they're kind of making a similar move now. They were spread pretty evenly across that area of the map, but Liberate, SDK, Illusion, they all have to come towards this spot. SDK, I know from speaking to Gunner, on something like on a circle like this, you know, once they see this next pop, they just go, right, okay, find something to kill. That's their game plan here.
Oh, it's smart as well, because even if they don't make it that far into the circle once they get the edge, at least if they clear that, they take a team out, that's points that they wouldn't have gotten. And that's, oh, wait a second, here we go, shots coming in. Adam is going to find Purdy. Finn is going to find Alo. That's 2 members down from SDK already. As Luke is just going to skate by on these rocks, and although they're good now, I mean, they're pretty much completely open to the north, and now it looks like Elusive is going to take shots as well. Not exactly what I expected here to happen to SDK. I thought for sure they'd probably get into a nice little scrap together, but they got picked apart by Dodge. Yeah,
Uncivil going to have to pull away with 4 HP in the UAZ. Luke 12. Still up on the hillside. Actually, I mean, behind enemy lines to say the least. He's actually on top of Elusive. Oath now flexing out of the yellows as well. Luke 12 is going to get picked up by a sneak attack. So Uncivil, I guess, going to try and dive somewhere, with that UAZ.
As here comes the mad scramble pock that we were talking about. All these teams having to move up. Illusion, SDK, obviously, we saw Dodge being the edge. SDR, although SDR does look like they actually managed to get in a little bit. Oh, no, I'm sorry. SDR is... They went all the way south. They wrapped all the way south. How did they get there through Virtue?
Well, I think Virtue are kind of spread towards Monkey. And obviously we know one's kind of sent out to the shack. So I guess that just left that rotation open. They came all the way down from the mill to highway flat top. So, I mean, hats off to them for identifying the space. And...
Yeah. And they're actually going to find Liberate over on the kill feed. That's going to be Guabi and Tech down. And another rough game for them, man.
Indeed. I mean, the last remnant's going to come through, try and find something. Hello, Senpai.
SDK's gone again. Second time in a row, Puck. Sorry to interrupt. But that's the second time in a row SDK has gone out in 16th. I don't know if there's... I have to imagine they're going to get the last 9 points, 8 points, right?
I mean, they're trying to make it interesting, right?
Yeah, of course.
Keep everyone guessing.
They're really sweet how they do that. Nade's now coming up. This is what I was talking about, the push potentially from Oath, but they have to be careful because they are somewhat in the open once they push this hill from some angles. Most notably, I think ATC behind them, but I mean, these are points potentially for Oath to just kind of scoop up. They've all completely pushed out of the compound now, and they want this, and I don't blame them. I mean, Elusive is trapped.
No, indeed. I mean, Oath, obviously, best equipped to understand where teams are going to pull up onto, and see now Belfast's going to send some utility forward. I think we're going to see the push come out onto Elusive. Gravity actually taking control of the yellows down to the south. Is he going to get the double knock with them there? Matram, I'm sure, is smiling on the other voice channel, but Belfast now going to push up, try and secure these kills. Detonator got a tall order here, but no, Belfast
Just
finds the headshot, 6 HP.
destroyed.
And close that one out. Elusive out in 13th place.
Yep, and a beautiful push from Oath on top. They completely left their yellows, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to go back to him just fine. As we now move to Illusion with Show. We saw a knock earlier, and I believe a flush, so this is going to be a 3-on-3 for Lumber. The issue is whoever wins this team is going to be kind of fodder for both Oath and Hardships, who are waiting at the edge currently. And this is the problem. This is actually exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, the other problem is by not being proactive and dealing with this, they now have the pressure of the blue. Obviously, there's another team holding them, and actually, teams have been able to set up in front of them. Hardships holding on to that trench position, or the bunker, if you like, just further downhill. And actually, Show going to come up, try and challenge close up. Finner down, he's going to bleed out to the blue. Icy Flex trying to get some shots in. Frimby, please send in full auto barrel into the smoke. But Dodge now might be able to pass a little bit, but I mean, this fight's got to happen.
It's got to happen, but even if they pass, Puck, it's going to be into the waiting and loving arms of Hardships. So we see Chubba get a knock onto Free Me Please. Show is already down from Lamplot. That was an earlier knock we saw. Icy Flex still fighting with a Groza. That's impressive, but the blue is still pushing him.
Lamp's trying to heal it.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it out. Icy Flex, there it is. Yeah.
Well, it's phase 5. As soon as this closes, I mean, he's not going to have a chance to run into the circle. So maybe just trying to wait out Illusion and get that placement. But yeah, there's no way he gets out of the blue. Again, not a team that's desperate for points. So understandably so, Zovran actually picks him up there. Hardshift's going to be able to reset a little bit down at the trenches.
Well, now the east side is getting a little crowded as well, as we see Virtue, who's been pretty comfortable here, start to engage a little bit with the Hardships as San Diego Rarity now are starting to move kind of towards the south. There's actually a decent amount of stuff to play here. The problem is that ATC is in a perfect angle to really kind of shut that down, just below mini power there on the east side. So the only play really is to get to the ledge, or not the ridge in front of them, but that's going to be a tall order. As we see Chubba now going towards the fight here with Virtue. He's going to find one knock. There is a Tanaka here, still in the blue. I'm sure Chubba is waiting for that. The rest of Hardships pushing and clearing that edge, and this is what we love to see from these guys. A lot of proactivity. Obviously, they had been really proactive with their rotations, and that's why they were able to kind of get ahead of all the teams that were already set up in the Lumber Circle.
And this one, I mean, the problem comes here. It might not look like much, but there's just nothing to move into. Once this one does come down off Lumberyard Hill, it's just fewer and fewer options to play to.
Gas cans are about to send it right in front of Rarity. And as I said, this is probably the only ridge to play on the south side, but there's no way they're going to make it with gas cans as well as ATC taking shots. I mean, you can see the cross-section on the minimap. It is just spaghetti noodles everywhere towards San Diego Rarity.
I mean, gas cans actually, I mean, they're going to be able to get control of that building. The Oldest has got the mansion. That should give them good oversight into the circle once it closes. Hardshift still need to come down here. You can see Zenith and Comet sending a lot of shots uphill towards them. Lobe's actually going to fall on the kill feed. ATC over here. They're in a position to hold Ascendance. They do have a couple of vehicles. I'm not sure they're going to be able to make it out of Mini Milter here. There's Raven looking over this direction, but this dip is just so easy to hold on to. You have so many different head angles to peek off of.
It is 100%. The biggest thing as well, the takeaway for ATC is that they can easily move to the ridge in front of them. The move is not the issue, though. It's the fact that Ascendance is still in Mini Milton. They have a wide open angle on that ridge that ATC is inevitably going to have to move to. So that's going to be a little tough for them. We'll see how they deal with it. But Gascan's still getting a nice amount of damage out onto the field as here comes ATC. Oh, and a Gil's going to fall. That's unlucky. He's going to get headshot. But yep, this is the ridge that they're going to have to play. Have to watch out for Ascendance potentially coming around the other side. It looks like they are pushing on the back.
This could actually be terrible. If they have any utility to get up there, Voxic actually pulling towards them. Draven with an off angle, you can see in the kill feed, going to open that fight up. Actually, ATC getting punished here from the backside. Oath.
That's it.
Yeah, they do fall. Oath right now trying to mount this push onto Gravities. compound. Relo and Snakers the last two up. 7 kills on the board for Oath. A decent game. Snakers actually finds D-Rich in the upstairs window.
That's big.
So now just one more to deal with, and it's Lipson, and he's vaulted out. He's on the outside of the building.
Yeah, that was actually a huge knock onto D-Rich because that pretty much opened up their ability to just walk in and take over this building. And now Lipson, I mean, he can either just play it safe and hold in the first floor or try to go res his buddy, but it looks like he's just gonna let D-Rich bleed out. Eight kills for Oath. 2 members down, but still a very good game for them so far. I mean, and the 2 of them could, if they can make it to that northeast edge of this puck, they have a lot of cover to work with.
They do indeed. I mean, once you get in there, obviously a couple of bits of terrain to play around. Gas cans and Ascendants, though. This fight's got to get done in the next 30 seconds or so because Circle's going to start moving in 20. You can see now Honey Badger trying to force the issue here. He's going to come over the top. Beck with the Scar. Doesn't land any of those shots. Honey Badger definitely getting the better of that initially, but Beck does finally fall. Now, it's all on Magi.
And he's going to retreat.
Yeah.
The problem is,
rightfully so. Just try and play his life.
Go.
Yeah, I mean, he can get to maybe the Wizard Tower, but it's not in. Honey Badger actually going to find him with the barrel, so Gas Can's going to keep 4 alive because Oldless is actually still over in the mansion. Yeah, 12 kills for them now, building some momentum.
Yeah, again, this is great to see from a team that, you know, wasn't struggling. Gas Cans were doing just fine, but they're continuing to push the pace, and you love to see it. Finally, I've been asking actually for so long for Comets to have 4 up, you know, past the mid game, and they
let's see what you got.
Let's see what they got. They're not only the 4 up, but they're arguably in a really good position. Although it's on edge, they have so much control over the rest of the circle, including the north. What are they going to do here, though? Monty's going to find a nade onto Honey Badger. And Comets doesn't need to move right now. They just need the blue to basically push the gas cans into them because not even Old is in over at the mansion you were talking about earlier, and so they're going to get in a vehicle and try to send it. And Honey Badger got left behind.
Maybe to play anchor. Yeah, we'll have to see the logic in that if they try and make a play. Oh no, Honey Badger's got a vehicle.
Okay,
that's fine.
They have vehicles. That's fair. That's fair. I thought maybe he was trying to get in and he just didn't.
I mean, he's lit from the blue, though. I was going to say one tag's going to do it. Yaxie's actually going to find him. Honey Badger will fall, so Gas Cans get 3 across the road into the circle. Virtue still uphill from them. They're sending some shots down from the Wizard Tower. Kickstart has been there since, I'm pretty sure, Circle 2 when it popped.
Yeah, he's been there for a long time.
But he's still chilling, so...
And he's still...
Circle actually going to pull up to the northeast. Oath are going to get a little bit of a lifeline there, but Comet's still 4 up. They got the edge of their compound to play from.
Yeah, this is definitely a Comets type game in the sense that they can control anyone coming into the west side of the circle, especially because Gas Cans and Virtue are going to fight, which is going to give them time, and that's going to give Comets the ability to potentially cross the road. I'm sure they still have a lot of utility they haven't used yet. So Comets are sitting in a very good position. I hope they're able to capitalize. As we go over to the Gas Cans, though, they are continuing to fight for every inch of this map that they're trying to take control of. They are going to have to move soon, though, as Circle's going to be pushing in 10 seconds, and this is not a blue that you want to be able to sit in. In fact, you can't sit in it.
No, it's not. And the thing is, with this being such a hard shift, it does create a significantly faster side of the circle, Godspeed. So Gas Cans and Virtue can't allow each other to, I guess, hold one another in these positions because there's ground to cover. And I mean, you can see how quick this moves in the late game here. Alder's actually going to opt to take the UAZ. Kickstart might get a little bit of a surprise here, but looks like they're actually just going to roll the UAZ forwards as a distraction. Virtue out of the Wizard Tower now, coming down to maybe challenge through the smoke.
Nice shot from Nikos.
Ooh.
Actually, I'm not sure if that was Nikos that got it, but either way, that looked really good. And unfortunately, I think Oldless is going to go down to the blue here. They definitely, they don't have time to get him up. And now it's really Oath just to see what they're going to do about gas cans coming in. But Comets are now going to be in a position where they're going to have to move off that compound.
Yeah, you're actually going to find Voxic, though, before it. I mean, Comets, they can leave maybe 1 or 2 to play anchor off of that. It is still in the circle, but, I mean, the center of this next one, we know where the star's going. It's going to end literally out in the open to both teams. Kickstar is still alive. I mean, anybody who's managed to keep track of the kill feeds so far, I mean, I'm not sure if anybody's going to be expecting a solo in this situation, but Comet's now going to try and mount their attack and push out across.
Yeah, they may think it's a 3-on-4, to be completely honest. As Kick is finally getting active. I mean, throwing a little bit of utility. He has to, yeah. Oh, he has a decent little smoke line, but no, he's not going to make it out. Vegas with a beautiful spray, going to catch him. And now it's down to Comets moving across this road. 4-on-2.
Oh.
That's a nade from Snakers. And Oath actually have a really nice position to fight from.
They do indeed. Reload going to try and put some SLR shots down. Comets find a lot of their utility short, and it's actually going to enable Snakers to get another line of sight through this. This would be absolutely terrible if Comets don't win this. Yaxley and Vegas did put some kills on the board now. They do manage to get, I guess, a more central position, but they've got to convert this. They've got to do some damage to Oath before the blue starts forcing them in.
Yeah. But it doesn't even look like their headshot's going to be massive for Leda. Vegas is actually going to end up bleeding out, and that's going to buy Reload some time. I love the way they're playing this. I love the way Oath is playing this.
Later is going to get that first aid kit off, and now, actually, look at it. Reload's angle could prevent Comets from moving any further forwards to the start.
Yep.
Yaxley, Monty over on the south side of this.
They've realized it now. Reload has been found out, but it does...
Dude,
the headshots onto Leda have been so unfortunate. Here comes the push. Oh!
Oh, thank God for that. Monty does find it. Later finds the second, so Comets will close this one out. A 6-kill win for them.